This is code.org. I want to go ahead and take a look at their activity guide functions make. So these are very helpful for planning out a project. I have a partial example of my project right here. Of course, that's the site itself. Let's take a look though what they have. So first up, variables. Fill in the table below with each variable you'll need to create. Their example would be color, right? And why they're saying that is their application here allowed the user to pick a color. Well, in my example app, I also have color from a drop-down menu, and so I create this variable color up here. So yeah, I am doing what they did in that I would have a color output. Now, font family, I'm not going to necessarily need that one. I might do something else. I could have it change. What happens if you choose lavender, blah, blah, blah. Now, if I want to do it based off this app, right? If I'm filling this out for my own application, then I would have differences. If I'm doing it based off this application, keep in mind, what the variable stores? Well, this variable, font family, would store the actual font family that the user input. Font size, what would that be? Okay, well maybe I have a font size variable, something like this, if you're modeling it after that app. Now, if you're modeling it after your own, if your goal is to do this for your own application, then I might also have a age variable, because I was going to use age to output info on this screen. So mine would be age. What does the variable store? A number entered by the user. Okay, so that's what they're talking about for a variable. Now, conditional and if-else statement. Yeah, a conditional, by the way, guys, it's just an if statement, is used to check if certain options have been selected. Set up the conditional below using a variable you created above. Okay, well, here, I was going to use color. I could also use age, but anyway, let's see. If color, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so if color is, I'll say red, and font family is Times Roman. I don't even think they have that. We'll just say Times, sure. What should I do? Well, maybe I want to say great red font choice, right? Because set text is going to change the text on the screen to something. And then what if they do this? This is an equality operator, right? So this means the font color is equal to red, and that should be in quotes. And this means the variable font family would be equal to, and this should be in quotes. And they're asking the same thing down here. What other variables might I have? Well, I was going to do age. So I would do your variable name, keep in mind, is not in quotes. Notice my age is not. If their age is, and I'm not going to have the number in quotes, although I could. If their age is equal to 14 maybe, and or 18 and something, I might put onto their screen, yay, you're an adult. Something like that. All right, now let's see. What elements on the screen need to be updated using variables above? Now, what counts here is what is actually being impacted. Does the condition above belong in a function, y or why not? Okay, so what variables? We can look at their examples partly to help us out here. So notice what they have right here, update screen pattern to help you plan your function. They're trying to hint that, yeah, maybe it is a good idea to include this type of information in an actual function, right? So it's all the stuff that's going to cause the screen to be updated, cause the screen to change. So look how we have on event functions here, right? So, or on events. And the on event will run, it will make the change to the variable. Mine is sometimes the get text, notice I get the color text, but it will make a change to the variable. Theirs is count equals count plus 1, and then it runs update screen. And the reason they're doing it like this is because there's no reason to write if count is greater than 20 update screen under each of these, right? So instead of having all of this code duplicated, you can just use a function and say the function's name to make sure the screen gets updated, like I also do here. So you really do want to consider that with what your app is doing. When will it be called? So does the condition above, I would think it is a good idea for a function. I mean, they're showing you that right here. When would it be called? Well, look when they're calling it, right? When an action's happening, so they're calling it, it looks like, in those on events. What are the inputs for the app? Now, guys, inputs are literally that. What is going into the app? So what is the user doing? Well, in this app, the example, quote input, yep, because they put in a quote. What else do they change up? Well, they change the color input, right? You can change the font family. These are all inputs. Notice the word input next to them, so don't overthink that one. They're asking what your inputs will be. If you're doing it based on that app, then they put input next to everything. For mine example, my input would be, yes, the color. My input would also be the age, or I might even say the up button and the down button, because both impact age. Those are both inputs. The user pushing the age down or pushing the age up. Those are inputs that the user can impact. Okay? Now pay close attention to these items, because as you're planning it out, it will make your life so much easier in the future. I'm really excited to get going on our app.